My earliest memory is riding in my grandfather's boat, arm over the side, hand in the spray. I've spent much of the rest of my life chasing this feeling. All of that has led to this, the wooden boat experience. Much of the boating work this week was in preparation for actual work later on. Speck and I found some time for fun, though. I need to begin getting the engine ready. First, I needed to move it. I also did manage to dry fit the velvet drive in place of the former Volvo transmission, which was mounted with 2 pieces of scrap angle iron. Remember those stringers that hold up the outer end of the floor frames? I sanded the dash trim piece. Combining the Bosch along with a bit of hand sanding is working real well on the mahogany. This mahogany throttle mount that I took off of a larger sea skiff will repurpose well after some modifications. I'll be doing a final sanding on all these parts that are getting dry fit after I take it back apart and before finishing it and final assembly. If we are going to create a runabout, we need some plywood. I contacted Bolter Plywood in Medford, Massachusetts, and spent some time on the phone with Fred Bolter.
Hello?
Fred?
Yes.
It's Scott from the Wooden Boat Experience. How are you?
Good, Scott.
I could tell from some of the things that Fred said how much he really enjoys what he does.
We'll have the same crew as we had for the past 30 years.
We've got some plywood.
And then I took over in the 70s, and we were sort of a lumberyard thing, and I didn't like that. And I like the idea of high-quality type materials and swung things towards high-quality marine products. It's the people I meet who I never see. It's the fun times. Wonderful, wonderful people, coast to coast in Canada and in the U.S.
What do you think, Speck? So here is our plywood, so the sapele, and then this one, I got to check again. When Chris talked to me, he said rather than the Douglas fir for the stuff you're going to paint, you might be better off with this, which I think was oakum. I'll check on that. But, you know, it's definitely marine plywood, as you can see right there. 7 plies. Now, I'm not an expert on plywood, but I'm assuming you count all, including the veneers. So we've got a veneer on each side, and 1, 2, 3, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside. So that's 7 altogether. Same on this. These are both 3/8 of an inch. So this I'm going to use for the new deck that's going to be up in the middle of the boat over the engine. And this is going to be for other stuff like floors and various things like that that are going to be painted. Now, the cool thing when you order from Bolter Plywood is not only did I get these 2 sheets that I bought, but these 2, I guess it's 3-ply. I don't know if there's a really thin veneer. I mean, this is just regular old plywood, but for doing patterns or whatever, I mean, it's really smooth and nice stuff. There's 2 sheets of this, which is 7/16 of an inch, that you're basically getting as part of the package. You know, this is part of the shipping cost. I mean, this was $348 for all of this stuff, including getting it here. I mean, I don't know how you're going to beat that. That's a pretty good deal. So I'm anxious to use this. This looks like that on that side. Very similar on the other side. I mean, this stuff would look nice if you put the right finish on it too. And this is very similar no matter which side you look at it. And it's going to match up pretty close to the stuff that we already have, which is right here on this deck. It will go side to side, so it'll run this way across the boat, going right up in there. So now my biggest problem is storing this stuff, so that's what I'm going to work on right now. So Bolter Plywood, information is down below in the description of the video, and they're easy to find online and very helpful.
And it's not just the big guys. You could have a gal in Denver that needs 4 beautiful walnut shells, and we UPS it to her.
On Sunday, I spent some time talking with the guys at CABS, the Cleveland Amateur Boat Building and Boating Society. Leave it to boat builders to have a meeting on Valentine's Day. Sounds like something I'd do. So here's the t-shirt that came from CABS, Cleveland Amateur Boat Building and Boating Society, and a nice cooler, place for a sandwich up on the top, beverages in the bottom, a little pocket in the front, and I will keep some Wooden Boat Experience stickers in there just in case I run into anybody out in the skiff, in the Chris Craft, or in the Lyman, or wherever I am on the water. Thanks, guys. Here's a game that's not fun and I don't recommend. Musical wood stoves. This is really cutting into my boating time, but this stove that I took all apart and refurbished is now going where this stove is, except we're going to turn it 180 degrees that way. And then this stove, because it's got the door with the glass and you can see the fire, is going into the new addition, and I'll show you where I'm putting that when I drag it across the snow. So here we go. Now here's the really fun part. Because this pipe goes down into here, and this part of it goes on top, because this is a stove from Norway, I think. This is an adapter that goes from a 5-inch to a 6-inch pipe. The only way to get the stove out of here is to remove the back 2 legs, drop the back of the stove down, and slide it out. Do the same thing to the other one to get it in place. Just more fun. Something we never got to before was putting these in here, and I've got some that'll fit, but it needs to be drilled out just a little bit bigger. Let's make sure they'll fit. Yes, they will. So we're going to reuse those. So we got to put one of these on each side, and these will support the gas tank they will connect the gas tank supports to this stringer, this engine stringer right here. What would really help is a screwdriver. And that's what happens when you're not paying attention. Well, that is not supposed to be number 2. I didn't look very closely at that. But guess what? It's number 2 now. Glanced at it quick, thought it said number 5, but this is now number 2. There we go. Floor frame number 2. Here's number 4. Now up front. That one's supposed to be number 2. Guess what that's going to be now? This one was supposed to be number 2, but obviously I screwed up and put number 2 on the back. So now this is going to be number 5. someday it'll make absolutely no sense to somebody. I almost did it again. There's number 5. And then right here, number 5. Okay, so now when you put a piece of wood across here, here, and here, that should be straight across, and it is. So the plywood floor will go just like this piece. It will go on here, over here, here. And then there'll be another piece in here. And that is perfect height. Great. So there's number 5 right there. We've got in the back 2 of them back there. Number 4 and number 2, I believe. What a mess. Oh, also we've got 2 of the 4 short ones cut. And those go right here, and they sit on top of a board that will go, this isn't it, but it'll go in like this and be attached to the side of this engine stringer. So there's those 2. We'll number those later. So these pieces are heading in to be painted in the studio. We also created today 3 links of stock 3/4 inches thick to be used. This is all white oak, so is this except for the plywood. These pieces are going to be used for building all the stuff that's got to be done on the inside to hold things together around the gas tank framing, and also to start framing in the new deck, which we have the plywood for now, of course. That's all for this week from the WBE.